and all of a sudden, bam, Jesus comes in and he turns your life upside down. But then sometimes you're out looking and you're searching for something because you know that there's an emptiness in you and you're looking. In both circumstances, God delivers. In both circumstances, the ones that aren't looking are provided for, and those that are looking are provided for. I told Keita the other night, I said, one thing that I've come to realize about a lot of sermons that you hear around this time of year, it's focused on the shepherd. It's focused on the people that are without. It's focused on the hurting and how God cares, and that's why he sent Jesus. But somewhere in there, it's almost like we make it wrong for your life to have been blessed. It's almost like a lot of pastors make it seem like unless you're down and out and suffering and hurting and feel unworthy, that God is not there. But this is the wonderful news. If your life is going wonderful, if you have been blessed with abundance, if you have been financially rewarded, education-wise, you have been given a lot of opportunities, advancement is coming at work, if that is happening for you, do not think that there is anything wrong. Because the wise men themselves were people of abundance. They had a lot. So we have to realize that God did not send a Savior just for the poor, just for the hurting. He sent a Savior for the kings and for the peasants. He sent it for the people at the top all the way to the bottom. Every solitary one, whether you're a wise man or a shepherd, Christ came for you. That is what is a message we need to make sure people realize. There is nothing wrong with prosperity. There is nothing wrong with things working out for you in life, as long as you turn around and you give thanks to the man that made it possible. If you give thanks to God for what you have, for the blessings in your life, then you keep prospering, because too much is given, much is expected. And if you have a lot, you have been given an opportunity to help out a lot. There is nothing wrong with being a wise man loaded down with gold and frankincense and myrrh. They were looking for a chance to give. The wise men came and they had gifts. They were looking for a chance not to just come, but to come bearing gifts. Gold, frankincense, myrrh, to lay before Jesus, to give to the family. But you know what? It wasn't about those gifts. See, a lot of people think that the wise men showed up with 3 gifts. The wise men showed up with gold, frankincense, myrrh, and themselves. And let me tell you right now today, the greatest gift of all 4 of those that the wise men gave when they arrived to see Jesus, the greatest gift that they gave was of themselves. That is the only gift that God has ever required. That is the only gift that he wants from you, whether it's today, tomorrow. That's all that he has ever wanted, is to give yourself. To stand before him, to bow down and humbly give your life to him. That is all that he has ever wanted. The wise men came because they wanted to worship. And it says that when they came into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother. They fell down and worshiped him. They find Jesus and they fall down and they worship him. They didn't bring gifts and want a pat on the back. Oh, thank y'all for all of this. They wanted to worship. They wanted to worship. But it was about giving of themselves. I read a story about this young boy. And he went to his mother. He was a shy lad. He didn't have many friends. He wasn't really accepted at school. And you know what? I think every one of us know what it feels like in some aspect of our lives, whether it was school, work, military, certain situations, family, friends. I think every one of us has experienced loneliness. I think every one of us have experienced what it's like to feel like an outsider. But this young boy went to his mother and he said, Mama, I want to do something. I want to give a Christmas for every child in my class. I want to get a Christmas card and I want to make one for all 35 kids in my class. I want to get crayons and glitter, and I want to get, colored paper, and I want to make it real pretty, and I want to give it to them for Christmas. And the mama was sort of sad because she knew that they really didn't play with him and talk to him. And she just knew that something would happen and he would be heartbroken. But she did it anyway. And he got everything together and he took it to school. And that day she was sitting there waiting, thinking, what will happen when he gets there and he gives a card to everyone? And not one person gives him a card. Well, school let out and she was sitting there waiting, and she did what most good moms will do. Just in case it didn't work out, she baked a big batch of warm cookies, and she had some milk. She said, if he comes home hurt, I will have something for him, and I will tell him how much he is loved. And as she heard the laughter of the kids coming down the street from school, and everybody was jolly, they were out of school for this Christmas break, she looked out and she saw her son by himself, hands empty, and he's walking. His head's down, and her eyes fills up with tears, and she gets the cookies and the milk, and when she walks in the door, she says, baby, I got cookies and milk for you. And he lifts up his head, and he's got the biggest smile on his face, and his chest is about to just bust with pride. And he looks at his mama, and he says, not one, not a single one. I didn't forget a single one, Mama. I didn't forget not one. That is what Christmas is about. Because joy comes to people who are more interested in giving than they are receiving. That's where true joy comes. You do not experience true joy because your tree is filled up with gifts. You do not experience true joy because your stocking is overflowing. You experience true joy when you give of yourself, of your gifts, more than you want. That's what Christmas is about. Christmas means different things to different people. But I'm here to tell you this morning, Christmas has always been about giving. It has always been about giving. We are going to end page 171. There's something about that name. From the time he was born and he was given the name Jesus to the time that they crucified him, and now 2,000 years later, when we hear the name Jesus, we do not have to ask, now which one you're talking about. We know exactly who it is. Next Sunday is Christmas. 1 week from today. There's people in need. I read out a list earlier today of a family that's in need. There's a lot of people in need. Can we reach every one of them? No. But we can sure reach at least one. At least one. Think about it when you leave here today. Search your heart. If you can do something for that family. If you don't have the stuff, call me. I can give it to you again. But let's help provide them with something to let them know. Even if for some reason Santa Claus misses your house, we got another man that's never going to miss you. He is never going to look over you. He is always going to be there to provide. And that's Jesus Christ. The altar is open for anyone who wants to pray, to accept Christ as their Lord and Savior, to thank God for the blessings in their life. If you've got blessings in your life, come thank Him. If you're going through a tough time, come up here and ask Him to deliver you from it, to comfort you. And if you do not know Him as your Lord and Savior, and you do not know without a shadow of a doubt that He is the ruler of your life, please come and talk to me. I will give you the greatest Christmas gift that you ever could ask for. If you would please stand. 171. There's something about that name. Until no one comes, we'll keep singing.